Ever loved a movie so much you couldn't wait to own it? You tell your friends, your family, your coworkers, just anyone who would listen. Once it's released, you rush over to possess it, excited to relive the experience. But in the end, it only sits and collects dust. This time, I'll be unwrapping them. Hey, what's up everybody? It's time for another Unwrapped review. Today is Dark Tales of Japan. Before I jump into this Unwrapped review, I want to give a special shout out to my Muddy Cult patrons. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to become a Muddy Cult patron, the link is in the description below. Also, if you want to find out when I post stuff here on my channel, because I know it's been a little iffy lately, you can hit that subscribe button. I know more than half of you are not subscribed, so please take, a few seconds to make that red button turn into a gray button or a black button or whatever color button that's not red. And you'll see when I post here, because sometimes I post on here twice. So, I'm going to be talking about a DVD I've had for several years now. I think this was gifted to me from an online friend of mine. It is Dark Tales of Japan. If you've been following my blog and my channel, I am no stranger to Japanese horror. I mean, I've probably put some stuff on here about it. This is an anthology series that has, I guess, five or six, short stories. One wraparound story to, tie, to book in the short stories, and then 5 stories in between. So much like the Tales of Halloween, I'm just gonna go story by story as best as possible about what it's about, what I thought about it. Apparently this was aired on TV, so as I'm looking at it on Wikipedia, it has it split into episodes or whatever, so, and that's what it looked like when I was watching it. Originally, I streamed this for my annual horror movie endurance run on Discord. I was looking forward to finally checking it out, because like I said, I've had it for a very long time, and so I was excited to see what it was all about. It was between this and another Asian horror anthology, which eventually I'll get into, and hopefully I can do more Unwrapped reviews, because I have way too many movies that I haven't touched and unwrapped. So let me jump into kind of sort of what it's about. It starts off with Honto ni ata noro no bida video. I should just say this all in English. Do you want to hear a scary story? Which is directed by Yoshihiro Nakamura. It just says, a bus hurtles down a pitch-black road at midnight, stopping momentarily to pick up a solitary female passenger. She says, want to hear a scary story, and in hushed tones, she begins her narrative of macabre tales. So this is just the book and story with this woman, telling all these different stories. I'm not going to really talk too much about it, because honestly, I don't even really remember it that much, but apparently it happened. I see a little, screenshot of it, but yeah, I don't remember it at all. I don't think that's the fault of the movie. I think it's just the fault of my brain and the time that has passed, because it is December as I'm filming this, and this was almost, 2 months ago? So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to start with episode 1, which is The Spider Woman, which is directed by also Yoshihiro Nakamura, and I will give you a little description of what it is about. 2 magazine reporters pursue a story about a local legend of a Spider Woman. Though the magazine's circulation has shot up 20% following their dramatic articles, they have yet to find a single shred of evidence backing up their stories. Then they hear about a young girl who claims to have been attacked by the monster. An interesting thing while I was watching this, because this came out in 2004, it definitely shows that it is of its time, early 2000s, and if you're not familiar with Japanese like media when it comes to like their TV, their movies, music and stuff, things that get exported from the United States, Western, trends and stuff that we have in our media, it's over there. They're about 10 years behind sometimes, not all the time. It's gotten a lot better now with the age of the internet being around, but back then they were always about 5 to 10 years behind. So a lot of the like technology and stuff definitely looks like 90s, like late 90s. But like I said, it's early 2000s, so of course you're gonna get a little bit of late 90s stuff. So the reason why I bring this up is because these guys working at this magazine, and you see all this like dead technology that kind of doesn't exist, or it's hugely upgraded now. It's just interesting to see, especially if you've been around, if you're older like myself, and being like, oh yeah, I remember big bulky computers and screens looking like this. So I don't have a lot to say about Spider-Woman. It's, a creature feature. It's, I mean, not completely a creature feature, but it's definitely, like, very Japanese. This weird Spider-Woman and just terrorizing these two guys or whatever. I thought it was interesting. Nothing super special. Kind of not my thing, but I thought it was interesting for sure. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, because also I somewhat don't remember too much about it, so, but yeah, not a lot really stood out, that I can think of. Maybe I should, like, rewatch this and, like, redo this film. I don't know. It was okay. It was entertaining. I'm just gonna move on to the next one, because I do remember this one for sure. The second episode, as they call it on here, is called Crevices, directed by Norio Tsuruta, who also directed Bring Zero Birthday and Yogen, which is Prediction in English. So this is, okay. Visiting the apartment of a missing friend, a young man is startled to find every crack and crevice of the apartment's interior sealed with red tape. Upon reviewing computer and video files, it appears his friend suffered from some sort of mental breakdown wherein he was completely obsessed with the terror that someone was watching him. But how could the friend have simply disappeared? As he and the apartment manager set out to remove the massive amount of red tape, very strange things began to occur. So fortunately for you guys, as I'm reviewing it, I do remember this one. So, yeah, watching this guy and this, like, landlord type person, whatever, they're taking all this tape off, and everything seems kind of normal, and then all of a sudden he finds the tape, and it's all in the description. Him watching the video, and him freaking out, and then all of a sudden, it's back to taping up all the crevices, and corners, and cracks, and stuff, and I really enjoyed the suspense, because you don't know what is lurking in the crevices and the cracks. Like, what made his friend freak out this much that he had to, like, put all this tape everywhere? Like, what could possibly be, like, lurking and peeking and stuff? And it's just really creepy, and I like this one. Definitely stood out. Obviously because I actually remember this one, and I feel bad that I don't remember Spider-Woman that much, but this one stood out because of the creepy factor. Like, it's just very creative for, like, something or someone to be, like, peeking in the cracks, trying to, like, reach out and touch you in the crevices. it's just very Japanese, and I like it. I couldn't imagine something like that, like, being conceived here in America, and I really liked it. Definitely creepy, definitely like this one. Good job. The next one is called The Sacrifice. It is directed by Koji Shiraishi. It's about a young woman returns to her rural home from Tokyo to tend to her ailing mother. Once there, she realizes that her troubles with a coworker stalker may have followed her to her family home. Haunted by childhood memories and the growing fear of the obsessed coworker, she wakes in the middle of the night and discovers a terrifying sight. Okay, sadly, and I'm not going to say I don't remember this one. I do remember this one because it was also pretty freaky and very Japanese too. Sadly, this kind of situation still happens where you have your creepy coworker that's like, you know, perving on the ladies in the office, which is just not cool and just making everybody feel uncomfortable. She talks about this with her friend and she decides, you know, go take care of her mother. So she brings up this like weird like ritual that her grandmother did. She would always be in this like specific room, always like saying a lot of incantations and prayers, like constantly over and over and over and over again. And she mentioned something about like seeing like this like giant face in the room or head or something, and you're just like, oh well, she was a kid, she doesn't know any better, it was just a wild imagination. And eventually it all reoccurs again, and her mother starts doing these repetitive prayers and chants and stuff in this room, and you find out what the main character, apparently her name is Mayu, how you find out what she saw as a child. Like, it all makes sense, kind of. Not really. It's still really weird, but it makes sense. And that whole stalker issue kind of gets a little bit resolved, but in a very interesting, odd way that you would have never thought of. I thought this one was also very unique and different. I didn't like it as much as Crevices, but I did enjoy this one as well. It was definitely different. So this was a good one. I'll put that one up there. The next one is called Blonde Kawaii. I think Kawaii, they didn't translate it, I don't know why. It means ghost, or loosely, it's kind of like a ghost. This one was directed by Takashi Shimizu, which a lot of people know his name because he has directed Ju-on 1 and 2, and also The American Grudge. I do appreciate that they put like some of the other movies that these directors have directed on the back. It's very helpful. A Japanese film executive visiting Hollywood for the first time is very excited about meeting genuine blondes. However, there may be one blonde in particular who is too much for him. So, I will admit, I've known this for a while. Like, there is definitely a fetishism in Japan, and maybe just in Asia in general. I haven't witnessed it myself, but I like seen it in documentaries and interviews and stuff that I've watched over the years as being a, I guess, Japanophile, enjoying, you know, Japanese media and culture and stuff, pop culture and whatnot. A lot of the guys definitely go for the white woman, the blonde and blue eyes, because they think like they're easy, they have fun, they're sexy. And this is all perpetuated by our own media, so that's why they kind of like clamor towards that or curious towards that, because we, you know, put them on a pedestal of like, this is, you know, the girls, the women that you should have is a blonde. So we think these are the most sexiest women are blonde women. You get it. So that's how it gets translated outside of the country. So that's why representation matters. So this guy also, it kind of threw me off a little bit when there was English being spoken. I was just like, hold up. I was like, oh, okay, we're in America. So this guy, I think, okay, I remember most of it. There's some details that are a little fuzzy. There's a guy, finds a blonde, as it says in the little plot synopsis, and you think it's gonna go one way, and it goes a totally different way, but you kind of expected that it was gonna go a totally not good way. Like, his experience finally meeting a blonde was probably gonna go disastrous, because, I mean, it is in a horror anthology, so obviously it's gonna be bad, but I never would have imagined it would have turned out into what it was, and I thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed it. This was another good one for me, so good job, Mr. Takashi Shimizu. I do like some of his work, the few things that I have seen from him, and I'm looking forward to checking out more of his stuff. But this was a good one, very creative. I don't know if I want to say it's like a favorite, but might be a favorite. But yeah, very different, very risky. All I have to say, guys, you don't always have to aim for a blonde. You can go for a brunette, or a redhead, or I don't know, purple. But yeah, so let's move forward to the very last short story, which is Presentiment by Masayuki Ochiai. After committing the perfect act of embezzlement, a Japanese businessman boards the elevator to make his escape. Riding with him are three unusual passengers who slowly reveal how much they know about him and what he has done. When the elevator suddenly breaks down, his real terror begins while he's trapped with his strange company inside the elevator and the police outside. This was the perfect short story to end on. I really remember this one too. So it starts off fairly normal with the whole, he's going on vacation with his family, his wife, and I think he had a daughter. And he kind of doesn't have the best of relationship with his wife, because, like, every time there's, like, a phone call between the two of them, she's like, where are you? You do this all the time. You need to leave work. We have to go. You don't have a lot of time. You need to, like, pack up. I'm at the airport. Da, da, da. They don't it's obvious that they don't have the best of relationships, and he's trying to, like, you know, I guess, get all this money from his company, get away from it. Like, he was very, like, trying to do this, like, Mission Impossible tuck and roll under the desk, trying not to get caught by the camera with the money that he got and information that he got, and, you know, live this, like, I guess maybe extravagant life with his family, and just, you know, leave this, like, dreadful office culture behind, because who wants to work at a boring ass office for your life? It sucks. So all of this guilt and stuff, all this negative stuff in his head that he's ignored, starts to slowly manifest and come to light and put pressure on him while he's trapped on this elevator with these three strange individuals. They definitely do not look like they came from this time period of 2004, and you can tell something's, like, a little off about them. So I kind of already clued in what was kind of sort of going on with these three individuals, which was not a surprise, and most people could kind of figure out what it is, but that's not the big revelation of the story. This comes a little later when he interacts with the police. I'll just say it like that because I really don't want to spoil it. This one was definitely my favorite one, and it really stuck out to me. I liked the message that it gave at the end, and just how it ended was satisfying. I mean, it was sad, but it was satisfying. I enjoyed this one. If I had to like rank, I guess favorite to least favorite, and also there's like a conclusion of the would you like to hear a scary story, but I'm not gonna really talk about it too much because, like I said, I really don't remember what happened. Probably Presentiment would be my favorite, and then probably Blonde Quidon would be second. Crevices would be third, The Sacrifice would be fourth, and then Spider-Woman would be at the bottom as my fifth favorite. So that's my ranking. Overall, I really enjoyed this anthology. It kind of gave me a nice little, like, time travel of nostalgia because I have been into, like, Asian horror movies since then, like the 2003, 2004 era, so it made me feel like nostalgic, like seeing that style and stuff, so that was kind of cool. It's a good collection of shorts. Doesn't always, stick with, your typical ghost and folklore, but it does, give a sprinkle of that feeling of, ghost and folklore of Japan that's, like, very familiar if you've watched a lot of, like, Japanese horror movies. It's a nice variety, has some good humor, some good creepy moments, creativity. I really liked it. So thank you so much to my friend who bought this DVD and sent it to me. I'm so glad I finally got to watch it and put it on my channel and talk about it. I'm just sad that it's taken me this long to watch it, but it was very good and I'm glad I streamed it, and I can't wait to watch some of the other stuff she sent me years ago, as well as all the other things that you see in the preview of this video. I have so much to unwrap, it's getting ridiculous. But anyway, if any of you have seen Dark Tales of Japan, leave your thoughts in the comments. What was your favorite short? Tell me about it. What was your least favorite short? It was interesting. I really liked this one. This was good. I'm definitely gonna keep it in the collection. I'm glad I have it in the collection. I look forward to checking out the other Japanese anthology I own that I have not watched, because it was between this and another anthology series. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I like to unwrap things that I buy because I have a problem with buying movies and not watching them immediately. So this gives me an outlet to do that and talk about it with you guys. So I'll see you guys in another video. Peace!